I am Captain Logan, and this is day 229 of Spawn Year. Imagine you're a novelist and you pitch this book idea to your publisher. So my protagonist does a literal deal with the devil, goes on a quest to find himself, kills said devil, refuses to take his place, randomly shows up to people who need help or need killing, then naturally decides from the totally unrelated events that shape his character in no meaningful way whatsoever to become God and reshape the planet into a paradise. Then he asks the Earth if it's okay with that. He gets sucked into hell, lives a truncated second life where he learns to embrace second chances, and now he's the king of hell. I'd wager the publisher would probably say, cut that whole convoluted, nonsensical BS in the middle out. He kills the devil, he replaces the devil. Remember that readers had to wait over a year to finally see Spawn embrace Malbolge's seat in hell. Might have been fine if he had a legitimate reason for not using that power for the betterment of mankind after Cog suggested he'd do that a long time ago, and that introduction to the notion of killing Bolgie sure made it seem pretty cut and dry that the whole reason you'd kill Bolgie in the first place would be to take his place. And of course it seems like a big waste because none of those stories in the interim turned out to be very good. So now he's in hell and experienced a dreamlike rebirth I honestly can't make heads or tails of. He uses his new influence over hell to end the chaotic uprising and wars taking place in his absence, calls all the spawns of the past to his side, defeats some unnamed phlebiac brother who could be Violator but I'm really not sure, and announces that the King of Hell has returned. This is Spawn territory! I just don't get why we couldn't have ended 100 with this and moved on. I'm not generally for intrusive exposition that explains everything natural in-scene storytelling should, but there's a lot going on that's unclear and really needs a little explanation. A writer's job is to imply, a reader's to infer, but you need enough concrete information to deduce things, and understanding the basic sequence of events, forgetting underlying subtext or innuendo or social commentary, shouldn't feel like a forensics investigation. When the ground opens up and sends Spawn to hell, I think that's the Earth, the green world, trying to stop his save the world and make it a better place scheme, but I can't be sure because no one in the story hypothesizes about that, and Spawn never even wonders how he got to hell. His suddenly changing his strong aversion to ruling the 8th Circle would have made more sense if we knew this for sure and it affected his decisions. Well, if the Earth won't let me take control, I know someplace that will! Not to mention that hell is, I thought, another dimension, not actually underground any more than heaven is in the sky. After reading this, no, I don't understand yesterday's issue any better. The only image I can really latch onto for any clues is that of Violator. The phlebiac brother, Violator, or whomever seems to be trying to make Spawn disparage his existence to the point of giving up completely, to fall into a trap by agreeing to let Spawn take his place. A deceptive second deal where Spawn, thinking he's Al Simmons again, agrees to stay in hell forever, but forgetting that he's actually supposed to rule it. I'm not exactly sure if that's how I'm supposed to read this, but why else would Al, in the dream, see Spawn transform into Violator, unless a part of him saw through the ruse and it was really the monster behind it, especially since he ends up being the main force after Bolgie's throne. How hard would it have been to just give him an annoyed line about how he can't believe Spawn just thwarted his deception or something? But again, I'm just guessing. It's not clear how those images and ideas ultimately change Spawn's mind about ruling Malbolge's realm. And the reason I'm not sure it's Violator is because, yeah, the coloration's different, but otherwise, he looks just like Violator, and he knows things about Spawn, but also never refers to any of their previous encounters. Plus, Clown died, and I don't know exactly what that means. And he calls Spawn Captain Misery? Captain's my title, and Spawn can't have it. I guess the reason Cog had to die was to go to hell and do something with that box. Wait a minute. He hangs himself, Suddenly his soul is in hell with the box? How does that work? It's a hell issue, so naturally we get a couple cameos of characters we've seen die, including Mad Mark, again, and Freak, who gets his hands on the soul box by the end. Dun dun dun! Funny how despite all those different circles, Spawn villains seem to always wind up in the 8th one. Also weird how there's all this talk about hell being in total chaos without a leader. It's hell. How much order is necessary for eternal agony? But I thought Bulgy was just one of the 8 leaders. The last few pages are visually breathtaking. I love the army of spawns and all of Medina's imaginative, unique designs for each based on their eras. One is part machine and looked like the Spawn version of General Grievous, and I wonder if he was somehow from the future. My favorite is the Western Spawn with the tall hat and revolver that seems to shoot necroplasmic bullets. Wait, does that even make sense? I thought a new Spawn only pops up every 400 years. There would only be a little over 100 years between him and our Spawn. I don't know what the heck I'm reading at this point, but I'll admit this one was at least entertaining, if not positively head-scratching. Just leave Spawn in hell. I tend to enjoy him more there. That's what that publisher would have said. Just leave him in hell. Signed, Captain Logan.